Just to make sure audio does sound good. Let me turn on my enhancer. That might be a little better. A minute's till on air.
My phone, I don't know if you were paying attention earlier, but you're talking to everybody right now.
Oh.
Well, it is 7 o'clock as it stands right now, so we will start our winter testing session. We'll have these drivers coming out onto the track right now.
And our first driver to pull out of the pits, we've got Yuki, if I'm correct.
Yes, you are. We have Yuki out here, known as Pixel RE, being the first one to put down some laps in testing. A little loose there.
Yuki driving a vehicle that we have not seen the livery to quite yet.
That
So
Neo
this is
Lighting
quite
GP
the
car.
interesting car.
It is a tied sponsorship with the Racing Force car. They are the junior team to that.
Neo Light Racing has been in the dark so far. We have not heard a lot from them, so this is quite interesting to see them out.
Quite a bit of lag from that Neo Lighting car, but nothing too extreme so far. as we also have Patrick Brewer out there right now. He is one of the Mercedes drivers. Tune into his feed right here in that yellow Mercedes car. Definitely the man to watch.
Mercedes notoriously quick throughout this league.
See
Warming up
there?
his tires.
Yep. Getting a little bit of temperature into those front rubbers. Be exciting to see what he can whip up here in the first winter testing session.
And if you listen closely, you can hear the whine of those beautiful engines
2-liter
of these
V4s.
SF1 cars.
As we have Brewer running up to the scene on one of those Alpine cars. We just locked up quite big there.
These Alpines have been finding difficulty with their lockups, so hopefully they can get that under control going into this season.
Yeah, we'll tune into Yuki's feed real quick. He currently holds the fastest lap of the race, or of the session, at 22.5. We also have Caden Saltz right behind him, the teammate for Patrick Brewer at Mercedes. Hoping to see a lot from him this season.
This being Salt's first season with Mercedes directly, hopefully he can prove himself to be a dominant driver in the Mercedes seat.
Oh, coming up to the line here, looks pretty quick. It is the fastest lap of the session, but Caden Saltz tops that by 2/10, trailing behind in the slipstream there.
Now this is a great view from Saltz, showing that he's ready.
Yeah, not showing so much strength yesterday in that private session, but coming out already with the fastest lap of the session.
Let's see if he can keep that with some pretty skilled drivers that will be coming through.
Saw there another purple sector 1. We don't really know much about any of the teams or drivers quite yet. This is what this first testing session is all about, trying to figure out where everybody's going to stack up in the championship standings going into race 1. This comes through sector 2 marker. He is 3/10 up on his personal best and the session best lap.
Yesterday in the private session, both Alpines were struggling to find grip, so hopefully that's not an occurrence today.
And there he goes, 4/10 improvement on his last lap, only getting stronger as he goes. 7/10 gap from Pixel right behind. We'll take a look at one of those Alpine drivers here. Go find their feed. We have Otazik here in that Alpine car, number 63, teamed up with
A
Liebert.
little bit of lag.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of lag there. Hopefully that gets sorted out.
Hopefully that'll improve.
Yep.
These beautiful Alpine liveries do glow in the sunlight.
Personal best sector there. Let's see, coming up to the line here after this final corner. Will it be an improvement on any of his laps? It will, by 0.3. A little bit of an improvement there. You know, they've seemed to kind of get that rear end under control here in the session today, compared to yesterday at least. Not having too big of a problem with that as it stands.
And that will be delightful for them.
Ooh, and look at that, a purple Sector 1 from that Alpine car. We'll stay on this feed right here and see if he can make anything of that. Beautiful first sector. Coming up to the Sector 2 marker. It is a personal best, but it is not quite the session fastest. That Mercedes car very quick through those high-speed corners of Sector 2. And he gets very loose there. That's definitely not going to help his lap time out. We will go tune in to Patrick Brewer's feed as he has just set the fastest lap of the session, topping 0.2 over Caden Saltz. Looking very rapid out there as it stands.
Now we are quite early into the session, but just for these quick little battles of fastest and with a purple Sector 1.
Oh, look at that. Caden Saltz shaved down his fast lap by 0.2 there. Only within 0.05 of a second of Patrick Brewer.
Well, these two Mercedes drivers may, this season, have quite the battle because both drivers are quite skilled.
Coming up to the line here. He will be 0.5 faster than his previous lap. Looking very rapid out there. Ooh. A little slidey there.
His toe into the grass.
Coming up to the line. Will he improve on his best lap? He will, but only by 0.07 of a second. He was up 0.5 at that Sector 2 marker, but lost quite a bit of time there in Sector 3. As we see, one of the Aston Martin drivers has joined. Quintero, he has not been seen in any other session so far. Be interesting to see what kind of pace he brings to the table.
Hopefully the Aston Martins can make quite the pop to others. Oh, and as we saw, one driver has gone off the track. Hopefully they can get that sorted.
There's that Aston Martin car, first we have ever seen of it. Looking very nice, very similar to that Mercedes car with the carbon scheme, but there is pink and green.
Within both Aston Martin and Alpine, both teams are sponsored by BWT, so that'll be quite interesting to see who will be the better BWT car.
You know, there is a sense of excitement here in winter testing. We only have a few weeks until race 1 in Austria. It is always fun to see where these cars are shaping up and where they'll be competing for either the front row or that mid-pack spot.
And even from now, there still will be quite large improvements on these cars' performances
And
within this time.
You really don't know if they're showing all of their cards at this stage. Could be some sandbagging going on. That Aston Martin does look rapid out of that final turn.
Aston Martin 8 car does show signs of pace.
The OCD has here coming up to this first sector. Looks pretty quick. Oh, and he backs out of the lap, just warming up the tires there. Maybe not have liked what he was seeing. As we go up to the other Alpine car, he gets a little loose. And he is off into the wall there. First spin of the session that we have seen.
Let's hope these Alpines will not get what they were tasting yesterday.
As we see, Remington Neighbors has entered the track. He is that very strong Alfa Romeo car. One that might contest for that front row spot that we saw through early stages in development.
Nobody has seen this Alfa Romeo car at all throughout anything this season so far. So this might just show
We'll switch to him right here.
Hiding.
Oh, and that is a very beautiful looking car. I will have to say that.
Hopefully that car can hold up to the standards. This 72 driver is notoriously quite a strong racer.
Yeah, competing for podiums last season at the very end there. Really worked on that car setup. Got it to the front row. Gave Brewer a run for his money last year. Pretty wide there. Probably going to pick up a penalty for that one. Indeed.
Well, penalty is served. Neighbors is going to try and give Brewer the run for his money this season. As we know, last season was quite a little battle between these two.
A little understeer, it looks like, through those high-speed corners. Not quite gripping up as you would expect.
Tazik back into the pits. Can we take the view over to Quintero? Quintero is currently in 6th, but this is his first official lap. Oh, and Brewer.
He did improve on his laps.
He did improve.
We'll have to check out those front Mercedes cars. Currently topping 1-2 in the session. Looking very down. Oh, and his Liebert goes fastest in the session. We'll have to go up to him real quick. He just improved off Brewer's time by 0.08 of a second. Now that was a good lap.
Alpine cars are very quick as long as they can figure out that consistency and figure out their struggles with the getting traction throughout these corners. As we have seen that these cars have been struggling with oversteer, understeer, all of it. So we wonder what they can do to improve on these conditions.
As we're watching here, looking like another very fast lap. If he can keep it together. Come around to the very high-speed right-hander. Keeps it pretty much flat. Coming up to Sector 2. He has improved by 0.3 on his own lap. Looking very rapid out there. As we see him coming up to the line right now, will he improve on his time? And he takes back the fast lap spot. Because Brewer had just improved. We didn't even notice, but Brewer improved again, taking back the fast lap. And Liebert just inches him out by 1/100 of a second. It's a very close battle between these two cars.
This is quite interesting to see between Brewer and Liebert. This is unexpected from what we've seen out of the Alpine cars.
We saw 0.6 of an improvement there by the Alpine car, but what does Brewer have to say for that in this Mercedes? Can he improve further? These two are just pushing themselves to the limit. Very fun to watch.
Very fun indeed out of both the drivers.
No
This may
improvement by
show
Brewer.
as we see Neighbors back into the pits on medium tires.
No
Now it
improvement
is
made by
believed
either
that.
driver.
Ooh. Now Brewer is a driver that stays out of the pits as long as he can. He tries to work on
Oh, and Brewer
the
takes back the
getting.
fastest lap of the race. Would you look at that? 19.5. Fastest lap of the session, sorry.
Well, Brewer's one driver that continuously works on figuring out the how long he can run with these tires and the conditions. So Brewer may have the upper hand when it comes down to tire lifespan. Oh, and Brewer with another purple sector.
Coming up into some traffic here, though. We'll see how he can negotiate it. So we have some little buffer there, but nothing too bad. Hopefully that shapes itself out. Very bad buffer.
Now we are still early on into this session, so hopefully we can get this all figured out and everybody can get their buffering under control. For that, it'll be very hard. Ooh, yeah. Those Alfa Romeo cars are having quite a bit of buffering.
And is that Caden Saltz, has he taken over that second place spot once again? We're going to check out his feed real quick. Yeah, he did. 0.02 of a second, Caden Saltz takes over Liebert's second place. We haven't seen much from that Alfa Romeo car. Not sure what is going on there.
Ooh. It's a little loose there. Goes wide around that corner.
Yeah, it's also doing a little drifting action. Probably not great for his tires.
As he goes into the pits. Brewer still in, side by side around that corner.
Oh, and they make a little contact there.
Now, rubbing is racing, but not to a point where it gets into a lot of contact. So we're not going to want to see that a lot throughout this season. Ooh. Now, what we have seen a lot throughout these drivers, they have dipped their front wheel into the grass and sand a lot throughout these sessions that we've been watching. So hopefully they can get their lines corrected and not do that as much.
We have Caden Saltz here on some fresh tires. We'll see if he's able to improve on any of his times. Maybe even take the fastest lap of the session. Let's take a look at neighbors here. We have a very tight battle up there between the top four drivers. Only 1.5 tenths separating the top four. And that is very fun to watch.
Hopefully we can see this a lot throughout this season, have a very close championship battle between these three teams. And maybe even within Mercedes.
Now, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain Neighbors is on medium tires. So that could put him very far ahead of where he's projected.
Now, to our knowledge, Neighbors is the only driver on medium tires at this point.
We see him coming up to the sector line. He'll be improving by 1/100th of a second. We'll stay on his footage here and just see if he makes any sort of improvement.
Yeah, we are seeing quite a bit of buffering out of this Alfa Romeo.
We'll take an onboard look here. Coming through some of these high-speed corners. This is where the time is made. Absolutely. Come through here. Should be flat out in these SF1 cars. Very easily. Into the hairpin. He is purple by 3/10. Just need to keep it together through sector 3. And he's looking at a very good lap.
Going purple on medium tires does show the pace of this Alfa Romeo.
As he comes up to the line.
Sends it a little wide.
Yeah, a little wide. That was probably a penalty.
penalty.
It is.
He sends it purple, but gets the penalty, so it will not matter. Neighbors back into the pits.
Brewer goes faster once again, extending his advantage out in front.
Now, these drivers need to get driver error out of the way, because that is one thing that we cannot let happen throughout this season. Driver error cannot be good for any driver or any team, or this will be a very close battle this season between all teams.
Oh, and Liebert takes, look at that, Liebert takes the fastest lap of the session by 2/10 over Brewer.
These Alpines are showing that they do have pace. Or at least Liebert is putting down the laps. Wojtaszek has been in the pits for a few minutes now. This made us think that he's probably tinkering with his setup.
And Brewer is looking mighty quick on this lap, coming up to sector 2. He'll improve by 1/10.5 roughly. Let's see if he can shave down or take back that fast lap of the session. Come around these low-speed corners. Going into turn 15 and 16. Can you keep the car together and in the track limits? Giving it a run up to the line. Looking pretty quick. It is purple by 2/100ths of a second. Patrick Brewer retakes his advantage on top. It's a 119.199.
Brewer's pace is there, and he is getting this under control.
Seems like once someone takes it back, he just
driver.
bounces right back. We'll watch here as Neighbors has mounted up a set of soft tires onto his car. 5/10 back from Brewer. We'll see what he can do on those red mark tires.
Coming up on this.
Oh, and look at the fastest lap
straight.
of the session coming up here.
Oh, Quintero with the
Going for an
fastest lap.
18.9. Very rapid.
Now let's see if Brewer can a response to that.
Yeah, that is 3/10. We have not seen
Getting
the Aston
looser on
Martin
that
at all.
corner.
We have barely seen this Aston Martin car, but it already looks pretty quick.
And that just puts another team showing that they also have the pace. As he slows down going into the pits.
Oh, and it appears Brewer has spun around on the track. Let's go take a look at him real quick. What has happened there? Getting the car corrected. Back onto the track. That was quite weird. And look at that. Pixel RE into the 19.3s. Only a tenth and a half off of Brewer. And that Neo Lighting GP car.
And we know Brewer will not like that, so let's see if Brewer can respond to both of these.
We also see Caden Salt's in the pits here. We're going to take a look at that. Lining up a new set of red mark tires.
Now, Salt has been consistently putting on new sets of tires, trying to get his quickest lap on a fresh set.
We really haven't seen much medium or hard testing. We see Neighbors has shaved down a little bit of that gap, but not much. Actually, no, I believe that's the same lap as he's had. So not much improvement from him yet. Caden now 7/10ths back from that P1 position of Quintero.
Really leads us to believe, where is this Team USA? They have been in the dark. Now we have finally seen Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin and Neo Lighting, but where is Team USA?
And also the Racing Force team. They have not appeared in the session yet. I heard that one of the cars may arrive at 7:40. So that only leaves them 20 minutes to test out their car, but
It'll be interesting to see what they can do within that small window of time.
as we'll take a look here at our constructors for this year. We have Mercedes Petronas with Patrick Brewer and Caden Saltz on the squad. Runner-up in the championship last year was Alpine. Drivers on that is Liebert and Lotazik. Team USA, we have Sean Lange and Cheddar Cheese. We have not seen any appearance from them yet, but we assume they'll be a good contester for the midfield this year. Racing Force with Sean Woodson and Francisco Gomez. Looking like a pretty strong team. They're very good in spec Super Formula racing. We also have Alfa Romeo, as we know. It has Remington Neighbors on the team, a very fast driver, and Max Turbo to back him up. And finally, we have Neo Lighting GP with Lucas and Pixel on the squad. And also we have Aston Martin, but they do not have a second driver as it stands, so they're not represented as much, or at least on this chart. But once they have a second driver, they'll be fully registered into the lineup.
Now, that leads us to question, will they find a second driver within the window of time that they have?
Yeah, I mean, we only have till April 1st until our first race. And as we see here, Liebert has shaved down that gap to Brewer, only 0.02 of a second.
Now Brewer is getting pushed with the run of his money. Quintero still with the fastest lap.
Take a look at Liebert here. And he takes over that second position from Brewer, falling behind a little bit here. And only 0.08 of a second off of Quintero.
Now, where is Lotazik? He has been in this pit for almost half of this session so far, so makes us wonder, where is he?
As Brewer returns to the pits, probably mounting up a new set of those red mark tires, trying to take back that fast lap of the session. Coming up to the second line here, Liebert is 0.2 down on his own personal best time. Not looking like he'll improve much.
Mercedes just parked up on the side in the grass.
Yeah, it appears that was Caden Saltz over there.
Hopefully Caden Saltz can get back his pace.
Yeah, he did fall off a little bit there. He's currently, I believe, 7/10 behind that top spot.
And that is not where he wants to be.
Especially in that Mercedes car that's really only 2/10 off the pace, as we see from Brewer there. I think
Tazik finally coming out of the pits.
the real surprise here is Remington Neighbors not being in that top 3, top 4 kind of spot, sitting at 5th place, and he's roughly 7/10 behind.
Especially for how they've been hiding their car, you'd expect to see quite a lot of pace just straight out of the gate, but
And now you may wonder, are they?
sandbagging.
Yeah, they could be sandbagging, not showing all of the cards that are on the table.
Because we know that Neighbors has the skill and the pace to be up there, but maybe he's just hiding it from us.
As you see on board with Liber here, he is looking very fast on the slab coming to sector line. He is a 10th.5 up on Quintero's lap. If he can keep it together through sector 3 here, looking at the new fastest lap of the session into those 1:18.7s.
Now, currently, Liber is driving in the wrong car livery, so.
But as he comes through turn 16 here, will it matter? Going up to the line, and he
personal best.
Yeah, his personal best there. Couldn't quite knock off Quintero's time. Does extend his gap to Brewer, though, who has been struggling. He has not made any improvements in quite a few minutes here. As we have a Team USA car has joined the room, and Sean Lange.
Now, there has been controversy within the paddock of Team USA. Their original livery has been declined, so hopefully that will not continue throughout this team, because the last thing you want is controversy.
We also see that Sean Woods has joined the room. One of those Racing Force cars looked pretty quick at times yesterday in that private session, but not very consistent. Same with the Alpines, but they have gotten their stuff together here today.
Quintero leading with fastest lap.
Looking like no one can contest it really besides Liber as it stands. We see Neighbors has passed up Caden Saltz in the fast lap standings. Surpassed him by 2/10 now. And now we have both Team USA cars into the lobby with Cheddar Cheese and Sean Lange. Getting the room filled up here with 24 minutes to go in our first winter testing session.
This does not leave a lot of time for these drivers, but maybe they're just holding off. We know pace is there, so. Now, Sean Lange being one of the original veteran drivers within USRL, makes us question, does he still have what it takes to compete with these new, fresh drivers?
As we see, Neighbors has passed up Patrick Brewer in the standings by quite a bit here too. We have a new top 3 all within 0.05 of each other. That is very interesting to see. That Mercedes car falling back a little bit here. 2.5 tenths back from that Alfa Romeo car.
Alfa Romeo proving it has the pace.
I'm interested to see here now. We have one of the Racing Force cars on the track with Sean Woodson. See what kind of pace that car brings to the table.
It's a beautiful Repsol car. Let's see if he can get where is expected.
Yeah, we know he does have quite a bit of pace. It's just if he can find that consistency in the modified chassis. As we get
Ooh,
quite a bit
having
of
quite a
lag
bit of
there.
buffering.
Seems like it's all squared away now.
One thing we do not want to see during the races.
Oh, we do have one of the Team USA cars onto the track. They have gotten rid of the controversial scheme. Is a
Oh, as coming out of the pits, he spins it a little bit.
completely
It's not something you want to see.
seemed like he turned right for a
Not at
left-hander
all.
there. Not quite what you want to do.
That is not a good first interaction out of that Team USA car.
As
Ooh,
Sean runs a bit wide there.
Tomlinson going wide. Oh, same with that Alpine.
Looks like he's
Falling off
following
the
his
track,
line.
coming back onto it.
But would you look at what we have here? We weren't even paying attention. Look what Patrick Brewer has done at the top of that leaderboard.
Ooh, and Brewer takes a response to all those drivers that passed him up.
Yeah, now soaring at the top, an 18.5, fastest we've seen all session long.
Brewer has put down. He's finished his 24th lap. Now, Brewer is one of those drivers that does not like to return to the pits very often.
Definitely getting as much practice as he can in the session. Really seeing where he matches up against all these very fast cars.
Really showing off his pace to these other drivers, and ooh, gets a little loose, but corrects it. Brewer is one driver that quickly can snap back to where he needs to be and corrects himself quite easily.
So we've got a full house here with 10 cars. We also see Sean Monge has arrived onto the track in that Team USA car. We'll see if he is any quick compared to the other drivers, but got a good, solid winter testing here, only missing a few drivers. Oh, and he is off into the sand. Not a good look.
Not a good look at all. We've got Cheddar. Both Team USA cars looking back of the pack currently, but still early on into their sessions.
As we have 20 minutes left into the session, Sean is 3.5 seconds back to the top guys. 1.5 to Wojtaszek.
Not at all where he wants to be.
Yeah, we figured you'd have a little bit more pace here.
First impressions is this is not a good look for Team USA.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're not looking very strong here.
Both Alpines have been struggling to keep it on the track, but they still do show the signs of pace, so
and look at that lap.
Sean goes
look
off.
at this lap from Caden Saltier.
Caden Salt
taking
showing
the
he has the pace.
That is surprising, I will not lie. He was 7/10 back and now takes over Brewer's spot by 1/100th of a second. That is good fun to watch.
Now, there is no such thing as the perfect lap, but these Mercedes drivers are getting close.
Definitely improving every single time they touch that lap marker.
Ooh, but Caden not showing it right there as he spins it. Not a good look after getting a fastest lap. That's one thing we don't want to see is inconsistency.
Yeah, and we'll see how
Going back to
Brewer
Brewer.
takes having his teammate beat him in equal cars with that lap. We'll see how he takes that and if he'll bounce back to re-obtain that fastest lap of the session.
Brewer being the #1 driver on this team should be the leader, and being a veteran compared to Caden Saltz, give him a little tap on the shoulder and show him how it's done.
It is good to see, though, that these two Mercedes cars are on point with each other and are pushing that car to the absolute limit, matching times.
That's the beautiful thing about motorsport, is that equal machinery, but it's really just about the driver.
That's what it all comes down to. And as it stands right now, the two Mercedes cars out in front by 4/10 to the next man up. Though we do know they are on very low fuel coming around this track. So we get another purple sector there from Patrick Brewer. This could be the lap where he could retake that top spot. We'll go on board with him here. And we have Liber jump back up to the top as well. 0.05 of a second ahead of Brewer. 0.04 of a second ahead of Caden Saltz. Very good battles going on here in Barcelona.
Ooh, and Brewer loses having that purple first sector. It appears he's losing time in that second sector. Brewer does not get that fastest lap, unfortunately, but about time will tell if Brewer can catch back up to Liebert.
Ooh.
Quintero following behind. Ooh, goes off the track and spins it into the barrier, not where he wants to be.
Not at all.
Now, Liebert has been showing pace, but his teammate, Will Tazik, seems to be struggling currently.
Yeah, and you'd think in equal cars they'd be at least a little bit closer, but I'm pretty sure that is a 2-second gap separating them.
That is not at all where you want to see these two teammates, especially in these very quick cars. So,
One guy we need to catch back up with. Oh, but we won't as of right now because it appears Liber is on a very quick lap.
ooh, improving by 0.2 off his fastest lap.
We'll see if he can keep it together, though. It seems like the jitters get to these drivers after having that purple Sector 1. Never can keep it together through Sector 2. We'll see if Liber can pull it together here. Coming around into this high-speed right-hander. Flat out around here. Keeping the speed up. We know he does run a lower downforce car. Probably helping out on these straightaways. And he is still purple. He is still purple.
Oh, he spins it!
He's
off the track.
completely spun it. Oh my days.
That will be a heartbreaker for this Alpine driver.
Looking to extend his advantage out front. We'll go over to look at Sean Woodson here. Only 0.6 back. Showing up late. Pretty solid lap times getting put in by him.
Now, this is one problem within these Alpine drivers. The inconsistency is truly what has affected their team. So, fingers crossed that they can figure this out before the season starts, or else that could end their season early. Send them home.
Oh, would you look at that? Who is back out in front? Right here, coming across the line. It is Patrick Brewer with an 18.4, retaking that fastest lap.
And Brewer says, follow my lead as
That's,
he crosses that line.
that is 500s faster. These guys are pushing each other to the limit here around Barcelona.
Really makes you wonder, can this Alpine pass up Brewer right there? Oh, and he goes purple again.
Looking very rapid. Can he keep it up through Sector 2, though?
This is where Brewer has been struggling around Sector 2.
We'll see coming up to the line here. Has he improved at all?
And he does, but keeps it very close.
Yeah, it's practically
Almost
the
no
same lap as
improvement.
he ran last go around. He lost 15 thousandths of a second there in Sector 2, running identical lap times.
Let's see if he can get any improvement throughout this last sector.
He should do it as he's coming around turn 16, running up to the line. Will he improve on his
And
fastest
he
lap?
gets it
He does
with
get it.
1/10.
A 118.349 for Patrick Brewer, extending his lead almost by 2/10 now over Leiber in that Alpine car. Also, Quintero passing up Salts as we were paying attention with Brewer by 0.03 of a second. Quintero gets Salt's lap time. Would you look at that though? That was lap 2 for Quintero. Could you imagine if he was on low fuel, what kind of lap time he could do? Definitely contesting with Brewer.
In this high fuel environment, this will be very interesting if Quintero can get that consistency down, especially with low fuel. That may show where Quintero really sits with his speed.
And we see, as we stand currently, it is only 2/10 separating our top 4 drivers.
Now with Quintero having this pace, what he really needs to do is find a teammate, because if not, then that may be it for him. And this Aston Martin team, excuse me.
We have Salts. He looks pretty fast here. Will that be an improvement?
As he goes purple.
Yeah, he does go purple. We'll see if he can keep it up through Sector 3. It's looking like a very quick lap, though, no matter what. Definitely will be improving. And as we see, Brewer has improved. Look at that lap time he just put in.
Oh, Brewer still
An 18.1.
saying.
That improved by 2/10 there. We wouldn't even pay attention. But let's see Caden Salts here come through. Final turn of turn 16. Can he improve on his lap time? Comes to line.
He does, but
And
not
P2.
just quite purple.
And look at who is P3. Who is P3 right now? We have Sean Woodson, who sneaks into the P3 position. This is an insane battle going back and forth between all the drivers right now. Mercedes out in front by 1/10.
Oh, sends it over that turn. We're going to get quite the line that he needed. All these drivers are playing tag, as we see.
Yeah, there's a huge shakeup going on at those front spots. Can Sean get it into those top 2 positions, or will it be a Mercedes 1-2?
That's a little sideways, but gets the correction there. Walks up a little bit.
Not looking like a very fast lap for him here. But that 18.3 was very rapid.
And we know that the Repsol car has pace, but the consistency has not been there.
Let's take a look back at some of these cars further back in the pack here.
Now, this being Tazik's first official lap in this Alpine car. This is Alpine's official livery for this season, so leads you to wonder, why is Leiber driving a different livery for the Alpine team?
He runs quite a
when
bit
he
wide
goes
there.
off the track.
Yeah, he's in the kitty litter.
Now, both Team USA cars in the back of the pack. Same thing with Neighbors. Wondering.
Yeah, what is going on with Neighbors here? He's 7/10 off the leader. Only 8/10 separating all the drivers. Seemed like it was just a glitch, though.
This is quite... Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, he is P7. That was just a glitch. on the stream's part. He is in that 6th position, only 7/10 back. Still a good gap between those top 6 drivers.
Us being neighbors, out lap. Let's see what he can really do.
As we have another shakeup at the front, it appears Liebert has taken back that P2 position. Take a look at Liebert, see what kind of lap time he did. And he is only 2/100ths away from Patrick Brewer. We'll take a look at Brewer here. It looks like he's going pretty quick so far. And that is purple sector 1. Can he extend his advantage out in front on that low fuel? As we're nearing the final 5 minutes of this first winter test, who will take that top spot? We're still on good form here, only 7/100ths off of the fastest lap. Can he find any time here in sector 3 to extend his advantage? Coming around the final turn 16 here. Will he make any improvements? It does not appear so. He is just slightly off.
This will be a close ending to this testing.
Ooh, Caden Saltz improved a little bit there, jumped in front of Sean Woodson. Only 7/1000ths of a second off. We have 3/100ths of a second separating the top 3 drivers. As long with Sean Woodson only being a 10th off of Caden. It appears someone has spun around on that main straightaway. It is one of the Team USA cars. As Caden will try to make his way around the Alpine here on the straightaway. Pick up a little bit of a slipstream there. And it's going to be an overtake move. That might help out his lap time.
And Brewer sends it slow right there. Oh, that was Salt, excuse me. Causing the Alpine to hit his rear, slowing down that Alpine driver. Well, that is Rotazik, and he has not been showing signs of pace. It still will slow down Rotazik.
We have a little bit of a battle here between Saltz and Rotazik. We'll see if they can do anything interesting for us to watch here with 3 minutes left in the first session. And we see Sean Woodson did improve there. He's only a 10th off of Patrick Brewer.
3 minutes remaining.
We have a big clump up here between 3 drivers.
Ooh. And the Alpine trying to force Saltz off of the track right there. Not a good look. And he spins it. Karma struck him like a lightning bolt.
This will be fun to watch here. Caden Saltz and Sean Woodson coming together here, but it appears Sean has entered the pits, so we will not see any battle happen between those 2 drivers.
And as we see, Cheddar Cheese has left this resting session, heading back to the paddock. results with the purple sector right there.
This will be interesting to watch. Can he take that top spot off Brewer's hands in that Mercedes car? He definitely has the machinery behind him to do it, but can he put the lap together? Coming through sector 2 here. Very fast right-hander coming up. He has clean air ahead of him. Prime conditions here to take that fast lap. Coming up to the sector 2 marker. Looking very fast.
And
He goes purple sector 2. Can he keep it up in sector 3? He has a very good chance here of taking the fastest lap of the session.
Especially heading to the end of this testing session, this is really close to a nail-biter to see if he can claim that fastest lap at the end.
Rounds turn 15 and 16. Will he improve? Giving the run up to the line. And
but he's just not there.
Just short. He lost a little bit of time in that sector 3. That is how close all these drivers are together. Very slight fractions of a second off in your lap time, and you are not getting that fast lap.
This will show that this season will be a very close one, and you gotta stay tuned to watch, because if you miss a little move, and he goes purple, if you miss a little move, that could be the end.
Yeah, one hesitation, one mistake could cost you, as we see, 3 positions here from P3, well, 2 positions, P3 to P1 is all within 0.03 of a second. Even Sean Woodson, 1/10 of a second. So we have P4 to P1, 1/10 of a second. One little mistake like that right there could cost you the front row of the grid. As we see coming up to the line, little mistake, but he's still a personal best time. This could take over that second place position for Caden Saltz. Runs a little bit wide there.
Getting very slow around this sector.
Yeah,
not where he wants to be.
Don't believe this will be any improvement here.
Now this is close to the ending. We're going to watch a few finishing laps, and we appreciate you coming in, tuning into the winter testing. Oh, Sean with a 5/10 penalty.
See if Liber can make any improvement here, rounding the final corners of one of his last laps in the session. Giving a run up to that line. Does not look like he may improve. A little off there, 5/10. We'll take one more look at Brewer, see if he has made any improvement. If not, we'll call it good for our first session. He's a little bit off there.
Off by a second, and over a second and a half. Now, this may have just been Brewer's untouchable lap.
Well, we'll have to say that was a very, very exciting first session in testing. We'll be back next week around the Red Bull Ring in Austria to see if these cars have made any improvements from what they were this week. Very good session, only 0.03 of a second separating the top 3 and 1/10 of a second separating the top 4. Any takes from your part, Logan?
It just shows that these Mercedes are not playing around, and they are ready for anything that anybody dishes towards them. They will be happily accepting and improving on.
Absolutely. Well, say we call that a good session, and we'll see everybody next week around the Red Bull Ring.